Hey, you blink, I'll cut your eyelids off. Don't you blink.
I got you.
Let's go.
And yes, it has been a long time indeed. Excuse me. And we are back here on the Man of Steel podcast. So, of course, yours truly, Charles Prodigy Richey, right now, as we get ready to kick off the new league year here in 2021 in the NFL right now. Steelers definitely so far taking a hit in free agency right now. We're going to break down the losses and the gains so far for this team right now with the wiggle room they're having. And I'm going to give you my thoughts right now, the impactful moves. Also, keep you some updates from around the AFC North right now. If you guys want to follow me on social media, you can definitely do so. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Prodigy Richey. For the Man of Steel podcast on Twitter, it is at Man of Steel CGR, at Man of Steel Nation on Instagram. Got a lot to get into right now as we take a look at everything right now with around the league. Right now, the Steelers, who finally were able to get under the cap, were able to make some in-house signings so far as we recap a lot going on right now. And pretty much, too, as we take a look at it from the standpoint with everything that has been going on, let's find out what has been happening right now. So Zach Banner, he's one of the guys right now. He has signed a 2-year contract, which is valued at $9.775 million and $3.25 million in guarantees right now. Remember, he was injured at the start of last season in the opening game versus the Giants. As we took a look at a lot right now, pretty much a guy who right now made it clear that he was be fighting for his payday and stuff, but he gets a chance to stick around and prove his worth right now. Congratulations to him right now, and see what happens down the road. But still about a lot of talk so too about the Steelers if they're going to be able to sign Alejandro Villanueva. By the way, as we look at it, there's just been a lot of things going on right now. When you take a look at everything right now, as we looked at the forecast of the salary going into this year, remember the current cap for this year right now is at $182.5 million as opposed to 180 and a half not too long ago. So that's where we're currently stamped right now. Officially takes about, I want to say, like a $15.5 million dip, I want to say. But still, I mean, here's where we're at. I mean, year of COVID right now, and what the Steelers have been able to face right now for a long time. And listen, I mean, the Steelers, who have been juggling the cap, I think Aditi Kinkawala said it best when she was on the Paulie and Muller show on 937 The Fan, in the fact that, even like with Ben Roethlisberger, you cannot fault Ben for the way this Kevin Colbert and Art Rudy II has been managing their cap the last few years. I mean, yes, this is obviously a shooken up year, and where they're going to be feeling a lot of hits more on the defensive side of the ball with 4 players being lost. But still, I mean, listen, yes, it has dropped, but this is, you reap what you sow sometimes. And here's what we're going to do. I mean, so far, I think right now, when I look at the Steelers team, I think it's going to be a 1-year hit more than likely. I mean, where this is going to be felt more than anything. Because next year, the cap, they should be having some reasonable cap space if everything works out according to plan. I know there's been some posts up by David Todd of ESPN Pittsburgh. But, I mean, that still remains to be seen. You look at the key losses right here on this team. I mean, you look at quarterback Mike Hilton. He goes within the division right now. I got to say right now, that's a hurtful move right there. As we look at Hilton, he signed a 4-year, $24 million deal with the Bengals. And also the Bengals, too. They're also signing former edge rusher Trey Hendrickson, former Saints edge rusher, to add onto that. But also you look at it, too, I mean, on this team right now, I mean, look at the other stars they're losing right now. Tyson Alalalu, who I think was invaluable at the position, playing nose tackle. I mean, for the loss of Javon Hargrave a year ago, he now goes back to Jacksonville. I thought he did a significant job right here. And And then you look at the other stars. I mean, they have been losing so far. I mean, basically, I mean, throughout, I mean, this offseason tracker right now, Bud Dupree now, we all finally know. I mean, he gets to go with the Tennessee Titans right now as we look at it. I mean, as we take a look at Bud Dupree's deal right now, I mean, for the most part about it, as we get ready to get into this, but Bud Dupree, man, I gotta tell you right now, I mean, this is a guy who's been waiting a long time, getting his money deal here as we look at it. I mean, he is going for a multi-year deal for 5 years, $16.5 million right now with Bud Dupree, who, like I said, I think that one is going to be felt the most right here, as he is officially with the Tennessee Titans right now. Congratulations to him. I mean, he's been a guy I've been waiting to get paid for a while. But at the end of the day, too, we all kind of saw this coming right in the wall right now, including with a torn ACL that he had. I mean, this past December versus the Ravens, and you look at it right now, and it's congratulations to him are in order, no doubt about it. And just a sucky thing is, I mean, you're going to have that pass rush of TJ Watt and Dupree broken up now. And it seems to be a continuing theme with the Steelers right now. So 5 year, $82.5 million right now, $35 million guaranteed, average 60.5 million per year. He is going to be locked up for the 2025 season. So there you have it, right there in that sense. Anyway, happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone who's tuning in right now. Hope everyone is having a safe and magnificent one right now. And let's see how this thing continues to roll out right now, because obviously got some gaping holes right now. I mean, going into the draft right now as we take a look at things right now. I mean, more in particular with the Steelers team. I mean, a few of the things that sticks out in this lineup right now. I mean, there are noticeable going into it right now. I mean, you're going to be without, obviously, no doubt about it, Bud Dupree, who's with the Tennessee Titans. Matt Filer right now, he is with the LA Chargers. Mike Hilton over the Bengals, which I think is the one that hurts a lot more. Tyson Alalo, he returns to the Jaguars right now. And there we have it right there. And more particularly, Vince Williams, he has been released yesterday. I mean, that was another big daggering move right now. That move saved the Pittsburgh Steelers $4 million on the cap. And speaking of the Pittsburgh Steelers, I mean, their current cap situation right now with the moves they've been making is about a little over $3.625 million right now in cap space. And like I said, too, I mean, say what you will about Ben Roethlisberger, but like I said, Ben Roethlisberger, I mean, obviously did what he can to take a hit for the team. A lot of people are still questioning if he should not been signed for another year. But at the same time, I think it was the right move at the end of the day. Listen, Ben has been a team guy, no matter what has been said. The way people have been viewing him the last couple of years and pointing to him, and say what you will about his play down the stretch. But I do believe right now, I mean, what's the situation the Steelers are doing to? Are they going back into an offensive transition right now? Are they trying to make an offensive team for Ben's final run, more than likely at this point? I mean, this is where you got to really look hard in the mirror right now. I mean, are we going back to offense as opposed to the defense we've been seeing getting better and better the last few years right now? Now, I mean, how much is this team? I mean, so much a playoff team at this moment. I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10. I don't know. I'm probably have to go with 6 right now. It's still very vague, still very murky. I mean, obviously the Steelers, they don't really keep a lot of players. I mean, long-term commitment wise, I mean, which is no secret. But I mean, this is where we stand right now. This is the obstacles are going to be lying in front of this team as they try and reestablish their footing right now. And the thing is, too, I mean, when you look at this AFC North right now, I mean, you're going to be having a lot more hotter teams coming out of it. I mean, more particularly with the Ravens, I least still like to give the benefit of the doubt to, then the Browns, and then you could probably argue the Steelers and the Bengals fighting for third or fourth place. I'll be honest with you. I mean, don't be surprised. I mean, if this team right here, if you look at the Steelers team constructed right now, they could probably end up finishing third place in the division. I'm not sure about fourth. I don't think they're going to be at the bottom of the division, but they definitely got a lot more fresher breeds going on, and especially with Mike Hilton. I think helping out that Bengals secondary, that's going to be something to watch out for. I mean, Hilton has been an invaluable nickel corner for this team since joining them, undrafted free agent back in 2017. And you look at this guy's career here, Mike Hilton, the contributions he's made. I think he has been invaluable. One of the best undrafted free agents I've seen in a long time right here. I mean, he had a career high in picks with 3 last year back in 2020. And you just look at, I mean, what he's been doing. I mean, he's been getting better as everything goes along. I mean, and really a guy who's been like a real savvy taking away the ball right here. He had a career high with 5 total takeaways, 2 fumble recoveries, 3 picks this past year, and now he's out the window right now. Anyway, feel free like leave me your questions real quick here. I'd like to hear what your reaction is to the Steelers offseason trend right now. There's a lot more losses than hardly any gains right now. And then we're still lingering right now. What's going to be happening with JuJu Smith-Schuster? Obviously, the Raiders are one of the teams that are speculating on trying to acquire this guy. I mean, it's JuJu Smith-Schuster. I mean, like he's been saying the last couple of days that he feels like his future is pretty much just about over with the Steelers, with the black and gold. And when you circle back to it, when you look at the fact that the Steelers are not able to keep guys, I mean, Bud Dupree, I mean, he was going to be a long shot anyway to keep around. I mean, let's be honest. But, I mean, how much important is he right now? A guy who may have been last remembered for his TikTok videos or whatever. But at the end of the day, too, JuJu Smith-Schuster, I mean, when you look at everything right now, as far as like being a trying to be a top receiver, which he clearly isn't just yet. I mean, he's still kind of considered like Team B when you look at everything right now. JuJu Smith-Schuster right now, he's making 1.048945 million dollars, which ranks 100th in the league as far as top receivers being played. The number one top receiver currently right now, when you look at from the previous year, you got DeAndre Hopkins at $27.5 million right now, followed by Julio Jones at 22, Keenan Allen at 20 and a quarter, Mari Cooper at 20 of the Cowboys. Then you got Michael Thomas, 19 and a quarter, Odell Beckham, Trey Kill, each at $18 million. Allen Robinson of the Bears, $17.98 million. Question if they're going to be able to tag him or come to a big deal. AJ Green, 17.971, but now he is with the Cardinals, no longer with the Bengals. He moves on. And then you got Mike Evans of the Buccaneers at $16.5 million, which is his 10th ranked highest salary here. So JuJu Smith-Schuster, listen, I think if anything, it's going to probably be a one, no more than 2 years, I would say at this point. I mean, if you got Ben Roethlisberger back at this point, obviously losing a lot of key guys on the defense, you may as well try and make a push for this guy. The only thing is, how much more are they going to be willing to trim down here? This roster, this lineup, as constructed right now. I mean, do you see the Steelers being a little bit more progressive, going for an offensive prospect right now? I mean, the biggest thing right now, I think you have to definitely take a look at, you have to get resolved, is the running game. The running game, which has not been good in over 5 years whatsoever. I mean, as a team, as a unit, I mean, they need to get that addressed. And I won't be surprised, too, if their second or third pick, if they go with either an outside linebacker or a tackle. You got tackles that are loaded in this draft right here. I gotta believe right now too. When you look at it, I mean, look at the running game. I mean, we get back in the my draft prospects on the next podcast, but think about it real quick over here. I mean, the guys that keeps being pointed out to right now for this year, as far as running game that the Steelers have been associated with, is Najee Harris. Najee Harris, who has a total of 4,624 yards of scrimmage, 3,843 yards on the ground, averaging 6 yards per carry, and he had career high and total touchdowns. I mean, in his final year of Alabama with 30 right here, a scoring machine right here, and the guy who can gain you yards off the ground. Now, the other guy you look at right here, too, I mean, for the Steelers team right now, and he's like a for round 1 or 2 pick, too. You also got Travis Etienne of Clemson right now, who's got 4,952 yards and 1,155 yards and excuse me, 6,107 yards in scrimmage here. So I mean, who are they going to probably take a look at right now? I think you need that running game. You need to get that out of the way. I mean, Ebusha has always been preaching that if anything, it will be it can help a lot of issues with the offensive line right there. I mean, when you have a player that good, that capable, makes everybody's job easier. Again, we're recapping NFL free agency right here on the Men of Steel podcast. Of course, yours truly, Charles Prodigy Richey. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, once again, you can do so. You can follow me on Twitter at Men of Steel CGR, on Instagram at Men of Steel Nations. We continue to look at a lot more stuff going into this right now, too. Now, speaking of the losses of Bud Dupree and Matt Filer, don't forget the Steelers. They'll be facing both the Titans and the Chargers this year. They'll be hosting the Titans at home and then the Chargers on the road. And we'll be able to learn that schedule within the next 2 months, I want to say, when we should officially get the original lineup, how everything will be lined up for the official schedule. Remember, I think it was announced like around middle and the May of last year. So we should find out for 2021 right now. Now, for the Steelers right now, currently they have re-signed quarterback Cam Sutton for a 2-year, $9 million deal. I think Cam Sutton right here, I think that's one of the key guys definitely that need to be kept around. He had 3 interceptions, 17 pass defenses, 2 sacks. He also led the Steelers in 2020 with 3 forced fumbles right here. I think if anything, that's a guy right there that could continue to pick up momentum. I think that was a smart move right here. A guy who's continues to get better. Like him staying around right now. And within the past few months, the Steelers have signed 20 players for the practice squad, 20 players. And within the past 3 months, within the past months, excuse me, 3 players have been converting their contracts into sign bonuses. Defensive tackle Cam Hayward, $9.4 million. Ben Rossberg, $12.925 million. And fullback there while converting $1.76 million of his 2021 salary and bonus roster. For Derek Watt, he cleared $880,000 of cap space with Pittsburgh. Then also too, as we heard from Dale Lally a couple days ago, Kevin Colbert, he is insured to stick around with the Steelers through next year's draft. So we get another year of Kevin Colbert. And I'm going to predict this right now. If Colbert is going to retire, I feel like he's going to retire when Ben Rossberg steps away. I'll go on record and say this is more than likely probably his last year. And we got Robert Mosa Flores right here saying that we should try to keep JuJu Smith-Schuster. Hey, I definitely agree on that. I mean, I don't see why not. If anything, I think he definitely needs to stay right now. When you consider the losses on defense, I am definitely with you 100%. And about Najee Harris, I think it's doable. Remember, don't forget too, for the Steelers going into this year's draft right now, as we look at as far as the draft order, The Steelers are going to be lined up once again as a reminder with the 24th pick in the first round. And then in the second round, they're going to have the 55th pick overall. And then they're going to have, let's see, in the third round, they will be sliding in at 87th. And they're going to be granted a fourth round compensatory pick right now for this year's draft right now. They'll be at 140th. And I believe that was due to the loss from Devon Hargrave from last year when he went over to the Eagles. And then the rest of the draft for the Steelers, as we take a look at everything right now, going into it, they'll have no fifth round picks. And then in the sixth round, they have nothing, but they got 3 seventh round picks to wrap up. They'll be having it at 244th, acquired from Miami. And then they'll also be having the 255th overall pick and the 253rd overall pick for this year's draft right now. So, I mean, that's going to be definitely really interesting right here. So, when you take a look at it here, I mean, for everything that's going to be worth, the Steelers are going to be having 7 total picks in this year's draft right now. As we look at it with everything. So, once again, for the Steelers, or no, 8 picks, excuse me. Round 1, they're going to have the 24th overall pick, the 50th overall pick in round 2, 87 pick in round 3, 2 fourth round picks, 128th overall and 140th, which would be their compensatory pick, and 3 seventh round picks, 244th, 250, 253rd. So 8 total picks for this year in the draft as we continue to look at things and shape up. And like I said, I really believe right now, I think this draft, you're going to have to at least start off running back, probably tackle in the second round, maybe the outside linebacker. Now, remember, too, the last time the Steelers ever had a Pro Bowl linebacker post first round was Lamar Woodley back in 2007. So, I mean, just go show you there right there. And Ike Taylor's even been saying it, too. I mean, they don't really draft like a lot of like Pro Bowl type positions, but they do. I mean, more or less, it'll be guys that'll be for future Hall of Fame inductions. And speaking of Hall of Fame, I don't know if anyone's got a chance to take a look earlier too. It was a real special one with that was hosted by Merrill Hodge, Art Rooney II, and the second guest being Bill Cowher. Now, Bill Cowher, he's be having a book coming out, which should be around on Father's Day of this year. As we look at it, he's be talking about. It's called Heart and Soul right now. Heart and Soul right now, story about football, family, and love from Bill Cowher from his tenure with the Pittsburgh Steelers, who is still the co-host of NFL on CBS as a studio analyst. And watching the videos right there too. I mean, he was telling some amazing stories about how he got hired, of course. I mean, the one he always brings up is like how, he would always tell his friends, if I could only make it within my first 3 years and not be fired by my high school reunion. I think that was one of the ones that always sticks out a lot. No question about it. But then also too, Mari Schottenheimer, he was one of the guys who was one of Bill's biggest references too. And not only that, when Bill Cowher had this conversation with Art Rooney, he was talking about how Art Rooney was checking about Bill's family, his kids, school, if they were coming back to like Pittsburgh or whatever. And I mean, it was just talking about a lot more stuff aside from football right there. And that's the thing that Bill Cowher always remembers, like how they felt about people, how they looked at it. And speaking of which, too, which I really found very surprising, I would not have guessed this, but I mean, maybe at the bottom of my list, but still, uh, He announced officially today too that his inductor for the Hall of Fame that will be presenting him will be Art Rooney II. I mean, simply for the fact how they have represented Pittsburgh, how he's been able to embrace the city of Pittsburgh, growing up there, growing up in Crafton, Pennsylvania, and I think that's just wonderful news right there. And to be honest, I was watching that, I teared up. Just amazing. I would have thought his daughters would have probably been the ones presenting him, unless you're being part of the Gold Jacket ceremony, which would be taking place on the NFL Network for everybody to see. Usually they have that ceremony on the Friday evening, the day before the induction ceremony. But I mean, with Murray Schottenheimer, God rest his soul, who's passed away over a month ago, and who's no longer with us, heartbreakingly. I mean, that was another guy I was thinking that might have did it, but Bill Cowher, I mean, had in his mind that he was going to go with Art Rooney II. Just simply, I mean, when you look at Bill Cowher, I mean, at the end of the day, family values. I mean, when you look at everything, and I always treasure the stories too when he was with his original wife Kay, Megan, and everyone, and his other two daughters, and just how he's always made time to like balance his life. I mean, just like how he would always find a way to be there for his family outside of football and between his coaching schedule. I mean, it was just one of the most awesomest things, and just could not be any more uh, heartwarming to see that story come out and just to see him get his due finally. I mean, along with four other people going into the Hall of Fame. Remember, I mean, you're going to be having the class of 2020 with Bill Cowher, Donnie Shell, Troy Polamalu, and of course, this year, going to be having right now, I mean, guard, tackle, and center. I mean, right now, Alan Faneca. And then the late Bill Nunn right there, contributor. I mean, earlier for the Pittsburgh Courier, and then a big time scouting assistant for the Steelers who helped shape a lot of the Steelers teams over the years. So congratulations to all those men, and just a great, wonderful, touching story. So let's get into some other stuff right now as we look at it. Aside from this, going into everything right now, according to NFL Network's Ian Rappaport, also too, right now, AJ Green, he has agreed to a 1-year deal with the Cardinals, who I was speaking about earlier, roughly $8 million, maybe a little bit more, according to Rappaport, possibly being like the max reach as we look at it. Also, too, the Ravens, they have lost the following players: outside linebacker Matt Judon, defensive end Yannick Ngakoue, guard Evan Zeitler, outside linebacker Tyus Bowser, defensive end Jihad Ward, running back Mark Ingram, wide receiver Chris Moore, and long snapper Morgan Cox. Basically, for everything that has been happening here. And as far as like the Browns go, as far as like their losses going on right now, as we look at this year, with everything that's been happening, uh, for people, they have been having to let go right now. And we're looking at right now. I mean, they lost defensive end Adrian Claiborne right now, clearing up $3 million cap space, by the way. As we look at, let's get ready to load up the screen for some more names coming up here. Also for the Browns too, left tackle Kendall Lamb. He is now signed with the Tennessee Titans, and that's all you have right there. But they will be maintaining quarterback Robert Jackson and wide receiver Cordero Hodge, tight end Stephen Carlson, Porter Gustin, and Jordan Franks, tight end right now. As we look at it, or some people they made signing. As for the Bengals losses right now, aside from AJ Green, you got John Ross right now. He is with the Bengals as wide receiver. Quarterback William Jackson III, he is with the Washington football team. And tight end Kevin Carter with the Dolphins. So let's go ahead and wrap this up real quick. Right now, it's been known that Dale Lally, that Mike Tom and Kevin Colbert were at Georgia's Pro Day watching mid-round linebackers. Now, remember the linebackers too, as we look at everything going in right here this year. I mean, you look at everything right now. I mean, with the positions here, I mean, you're going to be having at least two inside linebackers in the first round, and for total four altogether in the top 100. And if I'm a Steelers, if I'm looking at like an inside linebacker to probably bring on this team right now, I mean, when you look at, I mean, I would probably look at a guy maybe like, let's see here, going into this, I probably look at Chaz Surratt right now of North Carolina. He's got 12 and a half sacks right now, 2 interceptions, 2 fumble recoveries, and 2 total picks for 4 total takeaways. So we'll see how that works out. But anyway, that's going to draw for a close for this edition here of the Mouse Steel Podcast. I just want to say thank you for everyone tuning in right now. Hope everyone has had a safe and wonderful, happy St. Patrick's Day, and continue to keep it here on Mondays and Wednesdays. And I'll definitely be back around. And sorry, I know it's been a long time. Just dealing with a lot of priorities right now, but let's continue to keep track right now and give you some more updates. Charles Prodigy Richey signing off. As I leave you, don't be trolling. Rolling. Here we go, sir. Here we go.